That's my dude Chico. Chico. Man, these dudes' noses are pretty amazing. So when we're walking, he like first when we come out around the corner, he like picks his head up because he knows the cats are down there. Now, is it because he knows the cats are down there, or is it because he smells them down there? Today might have been just because he knows, because it's kind of cold. They're probably still in their garage down the... They all live in a garage down the way. Well, not all of them, but some of them. But we'll be walking, like, through the neighborhood. And I noticed this yesterday. We came up on a house, and he was walking like that. He was walking like that right there. And then all of a sudden, he just lifted his head and was looking into the yard, right? It's a big wood fence, so you can't see. But he lifted his head, looked in the yard, and sure enough, here comes a dog coming out. Ooh. Right? You could hear it back there making noises. It wasn't barking, but you could hear it back there breathing and moving. But, so, all that to say, he smelled the dog before it moved. Right? Well, I can't say that it was before it moved because I couldn't see the dog myself because it was behind a wood fence. But his interest peaked up because he sniffed that it was there, right? So there's the way their brain goes is nose, eyes, ears, right? So his ears are the last one to get it. So that's why, or the last sense to get it. So that's why I think he didn't hear the dog walking back there, because it walked up like it was far away and it walked up, right? It wasn't like it was already walking the fence. So I was going to go into, there's this new dude that I found, and I haven't seen him do any actual work yet, but he talks a lot of good stuff. He's what would be considered a natural trainer, so he doesn't like to use treats. He says he does, but the more he talks, the less I think he does. Right? Use treats and food. So I haven't actually seen him do any work, so I can't say how he does it. But one of the best things that I think, the reason I like him so much, is every time he's like, okay, blah, 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 blah. And you know what? I don't care what those guys say. I'm just telling you what works for me, which that's what we should be taking into play with each dog, right? So you have the positive only movement that says you have to do this for every dog, and this is the only way you should do anything. And that's just, it's not conducive to the dog or the human. There's so many variables in a pet family that you can't just say you have to always do this. So like one of my examples I like to tell people is the food throwing recall games that I do, right? Obviously it's not my game, and the people that I got it from, it's not their game, although they try to say it is. Because there's a balance training station that I watch that he said one day, he's like, man, we've been doing that game for 45 years, and these people aren't even 45 years old, and they're trying to say they came up with this game. But anyways, that's not what I'm talking about. That's just one of my tangents. But so when people get a puppy, they're more likely, so the two times that people are more likely to do anything you tell them to do, right, is when he always goes between that. You go between that every time, buddy. Yeah. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so the two times people are most likely to do anything you tell them to is puppies, okay? Because it's the excitement. Oh yeah, I want to do everything. I want to get off on the right start. So first time dog owners that have puppies, right? And then people who are having behavior issues, right? Having behavior issues, they really love their dog. They don't want to give up on the dog, right? These two, they're ones. Look, I tell everybody, look, these recall games, amazing. Just spend 3 to 5 minutes doing it. It's going to be great for your relationship. All food's coming from you. Blah 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 blah. All that good stuff, right? And it's exciting. The dog's listening to you in an arousal moment. Blah 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 blah. All that good stuff. So, out of the puppies that I've had, let's just say I don't do big numbers. So, let's just, for the sake of making numbers up, I do 1 puppy a month, right? 12 puppies a year, and then I take 2 months off, which I haven't lately, but you know, actually I've taken off more time for new clients, more in the last couple of years because of regulars. But anyways, so let's say 10 months I do 1 new puppy. So it's 10 puppies a year, okay? Out of those 10 puppies in a year, and let's say I only do 3 behaviors, right? 3 behavior people in a year. So that's 13 dogs that people are most likely to do anything you tell them to do. Out of those 13 people, do you know how many people I've gotten to hand feed? And so like behavior stuff, I don't necessarily do the recall games, but I will be like, look, you need to start using their food to work with. All their food needs to start coming from you. It's going to take a while for the dog to start doing it. So used to the bowl, blah, 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 right? All kinds of reasons why they should, especially with behavior issues. But out of those 13 people in a year, do you know how many people actually do it? 1 or 2. So what happens with those 1 or 2 people? Like, right? So with the puppies, it's 5 weeks, right? So if I say every week for 5 weeks, I say, are you doing the recall games? Look where the recall games, look how much fun it is, right? And they're still not doing it after like 3 or 4 weeks. Why am I going to continue to say doing it? Why wouldn't I give them something that they will do with their dog that's beneficial to their dog, to them, and the relationship? Why would I be like, okay, well, you're not doing the homework, I guess I got to fire you? That's one thing that I've seen. I haven't seen it much the last couple years, but a couple years ago, that was a big thing. A big thing that I was seeing all over the place is, well, you got to fire that client because they're not doing the homework. No, what you're supposed to do is help the people. You're supposed to adjust what your training is so the people and the dog can do good. All right, so I went off on a tangent there. What was I talking about? No, that was the same thing. Because I was talking about getting people to do stuff. Oh, and the first I started talking about that dude because I wanted to get into the fact that he says he doesn't care how things look. Hey, come here. Yeah, good boy. Good. Yeah, I didn't bring hot dogs today. I'm trying to be better about bringing them hot dogs. Just cause. So, but anyways, what was the point? My main point. I forgot my main point. My tangents made me forget my main point. This is 9 minutes too. I gotta go. I mean, I don't have to, but I lost my point, my train of thought. All you people that are good at doing this and keeping your train of thought, good job, man. I can't do it. I go tangent. I forgot what I was supposed to talk about. Well, maybe you guys can laugh at me for it. Anyways, be nice to people. Do what you think is right. Because somebody doesn't do something the way you do it, doesn't mean they're wrong. It all works, dude. Oh, I think that's what I was going to talk about was sniffing. The main thing was sniffing, right? Yeah, because I started talking about his nose. So, sniff walks, right? So that's a big thing now is, oh, just let the dog sniff all the time. And that's one thing he said, right? He does mention almost every time, like, hey, you're not going to agree with everything I say, and that's okay, blah, blah, blah. I'm just trying to tell you what works, right? That's where I'm from. So sniff walks are great for certain dogs. For some dogs, if this dog gets nothing but sniff walks all day, he's going to be more of an asshole than he is. Now, he gets sniff time. All the dogs get sniff time. But what I've noticed is I've started letting dogs have more free walks than I used to. And I've noticed that my actual leash walking with them is more up and down, right? You know, a lot of it is I'm not consistent about doing heel drills every time, right? Once I get to a point, I'm like, you know, whatever. But that makes the walking go down. Unless you want to throw a tool on the dog and use a tool every time, you know, whether it be no pull harnesses or prong collars or head halties, right? These tools help you. I just don't like them, any of them, unless I have to. But anyways, the point is, now some dogs, like Willie, I could take Willie on a sniff walk, every single walk, and he's gonna be fine. I take this guy on a sniff walk every single walk, he's not gonna be fine. I take Crew on a sniff walk every single time, he's not gonna be fine. Waylon would be fine with it. Raider pretty much does get a sniff walk all the time. And Raider probably needs more structure, right? I let him get away with too much shit because he's a cute little guy. That's my dog owner overrules dog trainer mentality, right? If I was smart, I'd be doing more, hi buddy, more with Raider, right? Because he needs it more. Now the sniff walks are good for him, but he needs more structure in his life. He's getting too much freedom. That's why he's my one asshole. Anyways, look, I was supposed to stop at 9 minutes, so I went to 12 minutes, and I still don't think I made the point I was supposed to make when I first started. Laugh about it, suckers. Laugh at my, what is that called? My goofy ass brain waves. All right, dude, you ready for structure time? Right, so with him, what I try to do is I try to come out and do structured play immediately. Today we're going to the schoolyard, and now that it's cold, I'm trying to do less. I'm trying to do his work in the second outing. What is that thing, buddy? Huh, what is that, buddy? Anyways, structure. Interactive play and structure. Don't just throw your dog in the backyard. Go out there and play with it. Do something with your dog. Just walking isn't enough. You have to have some arousal interaction. Other than, well, I mean, fetching is good for some dogs. Anyways, lots of variables. Nothing works for all of them. Later.